Okay guys, quick update with Bitcoin. So the question is, did Bitcoin just top out, and if so, how can we confirm this? That's what we're going to cover in today's video. In the previous video, I did talk about this red macro trend line as resistance and this orange ring, and why it was possible 73,000, 74,000 will be an ideal point to short. So you're going to cover all this in detail and how to know if we get below a key support level that I did mention in the previous video. If that becomes resistance, and the likelihood of us dropping much more increases. Guys, if you want to get leverage trading, you're located in the US, a great option for you is CoinCatch. There's no KYC. In some states in the US, you do not even need a VPN. So if you want to sign up for CoinCatch, guys, that link is pinned in the first comment and description. Two other exchanges I use and trust are Bigot and BingX. If you want to sign up for those, the links are pinned in the first comment and description. This is a tutorial video I put up teaching you how to trade on Bigot, how to open a long, a short, set a stop loss, adjust your stop loss, trigger orders, all that. I'll link this video now if you want to check it out. I am working on a video showing how, our tutorial video for CoinCatch. I expect that video up soon. So again, we're going to cover this chart as well as a few others, but I did make it very clear that this orange ring, stay bullish as long as we're before the ring. Once we cross it, I said we could get a drop. We did, but I said it was also possible we could push up, test on the daily. We made contact here on the weekly once, twice, almost 3 times, and made it very clear why this could be a point too short. Now, it was this video here. I put this video up about 6 days ago. I'll link up to it now if you want to check it out. I made it clear, look, if we get above, and I was talking about why 73,000, 74,000 could be the top for a drop. I did show you if we get above this point, how high Bitcoin could go for in a bull run. And if we do get a substantial drop, let's say that the US enters a recession and we get a crash, I showed you the lowest points we could go. So do watch that video for those targets, but it made it very clear that this could be a point too short, around 73K to 74K. Further into that video, and again guys, if you don't watch the video all the way through, you might miss important information. But again, it was a long video, but 31 minutes 40 seconds in, I said if we drop down, a great point to long or a scalp long would be 66,500. You can see this blue trend line was previous resistance, flip out support. It looked like this is a channel we're in that actually did play out. See, this was resistance, became support and resistance. So this would be support. So you got confluence. This blue trend line was resistance, would flip out support and hit the bottom of this channel. That's why 66,500 would be a great point too long. And I made a post in Discord about this. By the way, guys, you want to get access to Discord and these live charts. If you want to sign up, the link is pinned in the first comment description. It's opticalcrypto.com. You can't pay with USDT, but you need to email me through the website. And if you do sign up, make sure you email me through the website to get access to Discord. But I made it very clear why this is a point too long. That did play out. You can see right here. Last video, long target 66,500. We pushed up from that point. This was another post I made in Discord. This was on March 13th. I said rejection at top of the channel, and I saw a pattern playing out. Now, this was the top of the channel, this yellow trend line. And notice the white arrows that I'm pointing at shows that this is where we pushed it above the channel. Briefly, it would hold out support. We would drop back below. It would become resistance. Notice the yellow arrow. We come up, test the second time, get a strong rejection and a drop. Same thing happened here. It was resistance, held as support, marked off by the white arrow. We come back up, test it as resistance, and then get a rejection. But notice we tested it twice here, and kept drop down, so that was a possibility as well. But that's why it looked like 73,800 would be a great point too short. And you can see that played out. That's where the Discord short target right here. Notice we got rejected here. So this was support, came up tested as resistance, had a drop. It was previously support, come up tested as resistance, and then we had a drop. So your point too short was around 73,900. And this was a target I gave you in that previous video, and also made a post about Discord as well. But when we were dropping, right, when we dropped from 73,914, I made a post in Discord. It says 69K is our current critical support level, right here, 69,045. And you can see we pushed all the way up from 69,000 all the way back up above this fib channel, which at the time was 71,233. So you had a great long point. And you can see right here. So this is a point I said to go long right here, 69,000. We pushed up. Take note of this. You can see this blue trend line right here was a lot of resistance. So you can see what happens. It was support and resistance, but take note. We got a bounce from 69K. This blue line became resistance, and then you can see we started dropping from that point. And this is currently what you need to pay attention to. This is center Bollinger Band on the daily, and I'll show you the confluence on the H1 chart. Keep in mind, guys, I mentioned to short right here 53,000. Again, to short around 53,192. But I said at any point we get a daily open above 53,800 to go bullish. That was the video I said if we would go parabolic if we got above 54K. I'll link this video now to that video now if you want to check it out. So remember, I was bullish above 53,800, and I told you it's very likely, when we got around 73K, that could be a potential top. Now the question is, do we hold above the center Bollinger Band? Again, you can see back here, this center Bollinger Band on the daily has been support. Wrong tool here. Let me give it a brush tool. You can see this was support, right? This was support, and now we're testing this as support now. So as long as we are above that center Bollinger Band and we keep holding, yes, we could push higher. The next key resistance level on this chart to pay attention to is right around 69,122 up to potentially 71,400. If we could push above that, well, I'd pay attention to this blue resistance level right here, around 72,295. But your most critical resistance levels right now are 69,122 and 71,394. Of course, depending when you make contact, these lines are at an angle. But your most key support level now is this center Bollinger Band. And again, as I mentioned, right here, you can see the confluence for this. And this was mentioned in that previous video. This right here, this was 32 minutes in, and I was showing why this was such a key level. Resistance will flip as support. I was showing this red fib channel line. It was previously a resistance, resistance, resistance. Remember this where I said to go long at 66,500? We pushed all the way up and we came down. We got a perfect bounce on this line. I was preparing you. If price dropped, obviously that price gets higher. This line's at an angle. But I was showing you this was your key point to go long. And this just coincided perfectly with the center Bollinger Band on the daily, as you can see right here. That's where we got a bounce. So that is your key level to pay attention to. We know that if 65,700 becomes resistance, well, then we have much lower to go. Your next key support level on this chart is down around 62,000. So again, if 65,700 becomes resistance, then we are going much lower. As long as we hold above this point, well, your next key level to pay attention to for resistance is up around 72,150. We have this fib channel line in this direction here, and we have now this would be the bottom of that channel. They'd be tested as resistance. So I'd pay attention to that target if we got a pump, but again, stay bullish above 65,700 up to potentially 72,284. If we get above that, then that will be bullish because we'll push back into the channel. But again, if 65,700 becomes resistance, we know we're going much lower, and then 73,900 was the top. And I'd also mentioned in that previous video, this was about 18 minutes, 53 seconds in, I was showing you a pattern. This is the Dow Jones. Remember, the indices move together, the NASDAQ, the S&P. But I was showing you, support flip as resistance, we get a drop. Support flip as resistance, we get a drop. Support flip as resistance, we get a drop. And I was showing you, support had flipped as resistance. It hit once and twice. So it seemed likely as long as the Dow or the indices get rejected and start dropping, then more than likely that orange ring would play out as a top. That's why I said 73,000, 74,000 would be an ideal point to short. And you can see the Dow, and I've mentioned this in previous videos, this is a key resistance level. We cannot get above this point. We keep getting rejected. So if the Dow continues down, the S&P, the NASDAQ, if we cannot get a breakout from this point and we start continuing down, Bitcoin is going to follow suit. So we can already see that the indices seem topped out. Again, if we get above 39,150 with the Dow, that holds the support and we push higher, and Bitcoin holds above that central Bollinger Band on the daily, then we're going much higher. But it seems right now, it looks like we are topped out with the indices to potentially come down. If the indices come down, Bitcoin will come down as well, and that means more than likely we will be breaking this key support level at 65,700. And when that happens and it becomes resistance, then again, like I said, I do believe 73,900 was at the top, and that just plays along perfectly with this ring that I've been talking about. Every time you hit it to go short, this is a $10,000 drop. We didn't quite price didn't quite come up to test it again, but you can see we got a strong rejection. So this is what we're watching. Do we break below 65,100? If we keep holding above the center Bollinger Band, we could push higher. Pay attention to these next upside targets and potential points to short. Obviously, if they hold as support, then you would go long. But I do think it's likely we are topped out, and confirmation for me will be when this center Bollinger Band on daily becomes resistance. And you can clearly see that. Again, this was a target I gave you 6 days ago to pay attention. If we drop from 73,000 to 74,000, your next point too long, 65,700. If that becomes resistance, again, that's confirmation for me that we're going much lower because that central Bollinger Band will become resistance. Let me give you key targets again, just to make sure that you have all of these targets. So again, your key support level right now, 65,722. Very key support level. As long as you're above this point, or if you long this point, stay long with the stop below. If we push up, your next major resistance level to pay attention to, grade point too short, will be around 72,200. If that holds as support, again, that is bullish for much more upside. If we break 65,722 and that becomes resistance, you would probably want to go short and then potentially open your next long around 62,122. That is the next fib channel line below, as you can see right here. And again, this is the H1 chart. So those are your main targets to pay attention to, and again, how we can get confirmation whether we're going much lower or much higher. But again, 75,700 is your key support, and again, confluence with the central Bollinger Band on the daily. I will keep you guys updated in Discord. I just wanted to cover this really quick. Now, again, I'm not saying that we're topped out. I just want you to pay attention to key levels to get an idea if we are. We know if we get below that point, again, if this becomes, it's been support, the central Bollinger Band. So when this becomes resistance, then we're most likely headed down to the bottom of this Bollinger Band. See this orange moving average right here? And again, this is, remember when I said we've never crossed one of these yellow, orange, or red trend lines without getting a pump. That's why I said we could go parabolic once we pushed above 54K. So that will also be a key support level. And again, that's very close to the bottom Bollinger Band on the daily. So if we do break below, your next key support level on this the D1 chart is right here on, it's close to 60,000. That could be a point to scalp along. If that becomes resistance, your next major support level to potentially go long is around 54,500. But we know for a fact, if this becomes resistance, we're back below this key level. I said we've never pushed above without getting a pump. Well, we know that if this becomes resistance, then we know we're heading much, much lower. But also pay attention to the indices, guys. If the indices start dropping, Bitcoin's going to drop as well. Again, if you want to get a leverage trading, CoinCatch is a great option if located in the US, no KYC, and there's 2 other exchanges I use, Bitget and BingX. Again, I use all 3 of these exchanges because I trust them. Yes, they have incentives to sign up, but the main reason I use them is because I trust them. If you want to sign up, those links are pinned to the first comment description. Make sure you watch this tutorial video if you want to learn how to trade. And again, if you want to get access to these live charts in Discord, the link to sign up is pinned in the first comment description. And if you'd like to learn how I create these charts, these fib channels, and these fib circles, how I find them, you can watch these tutorial videos. I do teach this. Have like 6 videos showing my method of charting. But guys, that's pretty much it. Just pay attention to these key levels, and remember, this is your most critical support. If we get below 65,022, that holds as resistance, I think it's much more likely that this was the top around 73,900. If we hold above this point and we start getting above targets like 72,218, then we have much higher to go. But do pay attention, as I said, this chart right here. Your most key resistance above, if we continue up, is now close to around 75,400. But again, I think it's much more likely we are topped out, but this is your next major upside target if we do get another pump. That's it, guys. Trade safe, trade smart. I'm out.